Everything in this world is connected. Nothing exists on its own. This is not just a philosophical idea. It is the reality we live in. In Buddhism, we call this dependent origination. It means that all things arise because of causes and conditions. Nothing comes into being by itself. Look at the simple act of drinking a cup of tea. The tea did not appear by magic. The water came from rain, which came from clouds. The leaves grew because of the soil, the sun, and the care of the farmer. The cup was made by hands of workers using clay from the earth. Even the person who drinks the tea is shaped by countless experiences, relationships, and events. In this way, everything is connected. This understanding changes how we see the world. We often think of ourselves as separate individuals, living our own lives. But in truth, we are deeply linked to everything around us. The air we breathe has been shared by countless beings. The food we eat is a gift from the earth, the farmers, and even the people who transport and sell it. Even our thoughts are influenced by others, the books we read, the conversations we have, the things we see and hear. When we see this interconnection, we begin to realize that nothing is truly isolated. A single action, even a small one, has effects beyond what we can see. A kind word can brighten someone's day, and that person may then treat others with more kindness. In the same way, an unkind action can spread negativity. We are all part of this great web of existence. This is not something we need to force ourselves to believe. We can observe it directly in our daily lives. The next time you eat a meal, take a moment to think about all the people and elements that made it possible. The next time you feel sad or happy, notice how it might be connected to something outside of you. A memory, a conversation, even the weather. The more we pay attention, the more we see how everything is woven together. Understanding this connection does not mean we lose our individuality. Instead, it allows us to see ourselves more clearly. We are not alone. We are part of something vast and beautiful. And when we recognize this, our way of living naturally begins to change. When we understand that everything is connected, we begin to see how our actions, thoughts, and emotions affect not only ourselves, but also those around us. We do not exist in isolation. What we do, say, and even think creates ripples that spread far beyond what we can see. Consider a simple interaction. Imagine you walk into a store and the cashier looks tired and stressed. If you treat them with impatience, it may add to their burden, making their day even harder. But if you show kindness, even just by offering a warm smile or a polite word, it might lighten their mood. That small moment could change how they treat the next customer, and so on. This is how our actions influence the world in ways we may never realize. This connection is not only between people. It extends to nature, to society, and even to the way we think about ourselves. When we live in harmony with the world around us, we feel a sense of balance. But when we act selfishly or without awareness, we create suffering for others and eventually for ourselves. Think of a river. When it flows naturally, it nourishes the land, the plants, and all the animals that depend on it. But if people pollute it or block its flow, the effects spread far and wide. The same is true for our own actions. What we do in one moment can influence countless moments that follow. Even our thoughts shape the world around us. When we fill our minds with anger or resentment, it affects how we speak and act. If we approach life with a sense of separation, thinking only of ourselves, we may find that we experience more loneliness and frustration. But when we recognize our deep connection to everything, our perspective shifts. We become more aware of how our choices matter. This understanding does not require us to be perfect. We will still make mistakes, and we will still have moments of frustration or selfishness. But when we see the bigger picture, we naturally begin to act with more awareness. We realize that our words and actions carry weight, and we become more mindful of how we move through the world. Everything we do has an effect. And when we act with the awareness of interconnection, we create a world that is more peaceful, more understanding, and more in harmony with the truth of existence. Once we see the deep interconnection of all things, the question arises, how do we live with this awareness? How can we bring this understanding into our daily lives? The first step is simple. Pay attention. The world is always showing us its interconnection. When you wake up in the morning, notice how your day begins, because of many unseen forces. The sun rising, the work of those who made your home, the farmers who grew your food, the people who built the roads you travel on. Everything supports everything else. By observing this, we begin to move through life with a greater sense of appreciation. This awareness also helps us make wiser choices. When we understand that our actions have effects beyond ourselves, we start to act with more care. We listen more deeply to others, knowing that their joys and struggles are not separate from our own. We become more thoughtful about what we consume, knowing that our choices impact the environment, workers, and future generations. This does not mean we must always act perfectly. Living with awareness does not mean controlling everything. Rather, it is about seeing clearly. When we make mistakes, we learn from them instead of feeling trapped by them. When we face difficulties, we understand that they are not just our struggles, but part of the greater movement of life. Just as we are influenced by the world, we also shape it. One of the most powerful ways to live with interconnection is to let go of the illusion of separateness. Many of our worries come from feeling alone, as if we must struggle through life by ourselves. But when we realize that we are always supported by countless beings, seen and unseen, our perspective changes. A difficult moment is no longer just our own burden to carry. It is part of a greater cycle of change and growth. In the end, recognizing interconnection is not about philosophy or belief. It is about how we see the world and how we move within it. The more we become aware of this deep connection, the more naturally we live with wisdom and compassion, not as something we force ourselves to do, but as something that arises from understanding the truth of life. Right now, as you read these words, you are connected to me, and I am connected to you. This moment exists because of everything that has come before it, and in the next moment, you will carry this understanding forward in your own way. As we come to the end of this reflection, I invite you to take a moment to notice the connections around you. The device you are using to watch this video was made by many hands, using materials from the earth. The thoughts you have right now are shaped by your experiences, the people you have met, and the lessons you have learned. Even this moment, where you and I are sharing these ideas, exists because of countless causes and conditions. Understanding interconnection does not require us to change who we are. It simply invites us to see more clearly, to recognize that we are not separate from this world, but deeply woven into it. When we live with this awareness, our way of being naturally shifts. We become more present, more open, and more at peace with the flow of life. If these words have resonated with you, I am grateful. Knowing that this message reaches people across the world is a reminder of how deeply connected we all are. Your support, whether through a like, a comment, sharing your thoughts, or simply taking a moment to reflect, means a great deal. To those who have subscribed to this channel or offered support through Super Thanks, I sincerely appreciate it. Every connection we make, even through a screen, carries meaning. May this understanding of interconnection bring clarity and peace to your life, and may you continue to see the unseen threads that bind us all together.